Welcome to Under Two Capes. I am Jared.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah, and Lad's eating, so don't worry about that. So, anyway, today we are talking about The Bad Batch, See, Season 1, Episode 4,
Yep.
which was. This was a pretty interesting episode, to say the least. What did you think, Lad?
I thought it was a pretty fun episode where it's a little bit of, like a side episode, like nothing like revolutionary happening. But I think it was kind of just like a fun episode.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty interesting.
Mhm.
So, instead of going over the plot, which basically is Omega runs away and gets into trouble again.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some interesting callbacks to other shows from this. Like number one, I'm going to share my screen real quick. We have one of the most obvious ones, the planet of Pandora.
I know. I kind of forgot about that actually.
Yeah, so the episode shows Clone Force 99 landing to scramble the ship's signature and resupply on Pandora. The plan is a callback to Star Wars: The Clone Wars Season 3, Episode 4, Sphere of Influence. In that episode, Ahsoka Tano and one of the planet's senators work together in an effort to rescue Pandora's chairman's two daughters, who are being held for ransom by the Trade Federation. And it was also one of their moons was that ice world where they were fighting the I think they're called the Talls.
Yeah, those ice dudes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Rasper, yeah, and if I says Rasper 6, which is a reference to Star Wars Legends, it was a delinquent moon as a result of some atomic explosion. Okay, that's interesting. Legends. I like how Disney decanonizes all of the extended universe legend stuff, and then they're slowly bringing them back in.
Yeah, just slowly getting that stuff back in.
This was one of the more humorous parts of the episode where Echo describes himself as a droid, and I love where Hunter is selling him to that droid guy, and then Hunter and then Echo goes, "I'm worth at least 300."
Yeah, that was pretty funny. That was funny that like everyone, he's just like, "Hey, I got a plan." And he's like, "No, I know what you're thinking."
He's like, "No, no, no, I know what you're doing,
Yeah.
Hunter." Also, like this, how they apparently show that maybe the people are in favor of the clone troopers, or it could be these guys haven't gotten super oppressive yet.
Yeah, I kind of like I said, it's that interesting perspective of, the war was the clone troopers and the Republic to fighting against the people trying to separate from the Union, the South, or whatever, like the Confederates, the independent systems, and they defeated them. They destroyed the droid armies. They defeated the leaders, and now everyone's celebrating. And the Republic's going to become stronger as the Empire. People are going to be registered. There's new currency. It's from a people perspective, it's a great time. Not everyone really knows what the Jedi or the whole like evil plot with Order 66.
And yeah, that's true. And what's interesting is that when you think about it, and this article sort of touches on it. It's interesting how also as far as these people know, the Jedi actually tried to overthrow the Chancellor.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So next, let's go to next. Let's see what else we can do. Okay. Now, also, again, I like how the clones are in all white. No more unit colors or battalion colors. It's just white, which indicates stormtroopers, baby.
That's cool.
Let's see. The clone trooper doll I thought was a nice touch. It's kind of like in Rogue One, where she had the little doll of like, I think it was a rebel pilot.
Yeah, the doll was cool.
Yeah. And then, oh yeah, hello there. She actually goes, hello there.
I forgot about that. I forgot she said that. I was too focused on the cute little animal thingy there, the little like dog creature. It's originally from the Star Wars Resistance TV show, and it's like really cute. it has like kind of like four really long chicken legs, but its body is just like so cuddly.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. This
Oh
next
man.
one has me asking questions. So
Yeah.
Shan shows up. Fennec Shan from Mandalorian shows up. Here's my question. Okay, so lad, on average, how long do you think from here to when she shows up in Mando? Like, how many years do you think?
So I actually pulled up the Star Wars website, and it says it's about 30 years before Mandalorian.
So here's my question. So how old do you, so what I find is interesting. So if that's so if it's 30 years from this to Mando, let's say she's like 20 or 30. She's like 60 in Mando and she's still moving around like that.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm thing is we don't really know too much about her because we saw her like open her chest up and there was like robot parts in there. So she's
That was after Boba saved her, remember, because she was shot by Mando's bounty hunter friend.
I know, but what I assumed from that was that she was a cyborg and that's why she wasn't like completely dead, but she was a robot the whole time, or it could be like what you're thinking, she was shot and killed, but then they just replaced her stomach and revived her and she's okay now. So I'm not sure which one is it. Like either she was saved by making her stomach robotic or she was a cyborg the whole time.
I took it as as she was hurt really bad because you notice the rookie bounty hunter fired the pistol into her stomach.
Yeah.
And if she was a robot, how come when she fell there weren't any sparks or anything like that?
That's true. That's a good point.
And then what I think would happen is that Boba rebuilt her pretty much.
That's like, it just feels so weird to me. Like, can you replace just someone's stomach? I mean, like we've seen like arms be replaced, but like
space wizards. Don't forget about the space wizards.
I guess, yeah.
You have to see. Here's the thing. You have to actually like to a certain degree. You kind of have to like basically like separate yourself from what seems plausible because we're dealing with a universe with space people that can lift stuff with their minds.
That's doesn't normally happen with you. I mean, oops, maybe I shouldn't have revealed myself.
But yeah, so that's my thing is that's the problem. That's the problem with putting her in other characters. What they should have done, what would have been more believable, is if they did another season of Star Wars Rebels or done another show that takes place after Episode 6 or like during the original trilogy, and then put her in. That would have made sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it that the Bad Batch is like the newest thing, so they wanted to throw in some characters. But there's a reason why I said if they bring in Din Djarin, he would have to be like a kid or something like that, or at least very young.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, but I mean, besides that, it was pretty cool, and I liked how they had the same voice actor too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, it'd be kind of interesting if she runs into Boba at some point. Like
that'd be cool
when he's younger.
That'd be cool. I'm still saying I want them to run into like some ex-Death Watch people, and then you see a baby Bando running.
Yeah.
But also, okay, so next, we have the speeder chase through the city, which which like this website, I got like major Attack of the Clones vibes from this, from when Obi-Wan and Anakin are in the speeder chasing her.
Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah, I love that scene. I love that scene of Episode 2 for just talk about that for a second because it's like Obi-Wan is being a backseat driver the entire time.
Yeah.
And then Anakin's like, I'm out, and he jumps out of the speeder.
Yeah, like that's a good plan. Oh man,
that actually is a good plan.
Yeah, no, I thought it was kind of funny, like how like Wrecker tried to like I was like, oh sweet, Wrecker found her, everything's all good, and then Wrecker is like, all right, I'm gonna take you on, Fennec, or I guess they just bounty
I love
hunter.
that.
He just gets wrecked in one hit.
One shot. One
Yeah.
freaking shot.
Yeah. I think she, if I remember correctly, she kind of like redirected his like movement speed so that he like slammed himself into a wall or something like that. I don't quite remember.
I think she grabbed. He went for a punch. She dodged, pulled him in, and punched him in the head. Or no, or like banged his head against a wall or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Still,
yeah,
it was hilarious because you'd expect someone as big as him to like last longer, but then it's like, nope, boom.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the scenes that I actually found was pretty humorous is when Echo is put in the closet with the other droids. How that one droid was like, "No, I'm in charge," and then Echo pulls out a blaster and he's like, "Yeah, I'll log your complaint."
Yeah, that was funny. And the other droids were like siding with him. Then they were happy to go along and escape. And the 3PO clone was like, "No, this is like this is against protocol."
That's so 3PO. Well, yeah, because the protocol droid. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, true.
Let's see what else can we talk about. I liked. I mean, what I think is interesting. It seems to me that they're doing a format where one episode shows what the Bad Batch are doing, another one shows what Crosshair is doing, and through Crosshair, they're showing the evolution of the Clone Army to the Empire.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Well, I wonder if they're going to have Crosshair's whole squad hunt the Bad Batch. I think that'd be cool.
That's true. Yeah, like his new replacement squad. I mean, yeah, I think we could be due, like, especially for next episode, we could be due for seeing some more Crosshair and like him hunting them down. Because this episode was, pretty fun, but it was more of like a side episode. So I feel like they could, could be next episode could be like a big one. Maybe there'll be a confrontation between them or something. Mm-hmm. But I was actually something I thought was pretty funny. In the kind of like earlier on in the episode when they're all planning to like leave the place, and then like Wrecker and Tech get stuck behind fixing the ship, and it's like always like the two of them. It's like like Wrecker and Tech. I love Wrecker and Tech together. I think make a good pair, and they're like,
yeah,
why
that's
do we
a good
stay
dynamic. I like that dynamic. That's true. I do like that.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Well, but I find it's really interesting how it appears every time you take your eyes off Omega for like 10 seconds, she'll disappear. And it's kind of interesting. Lama Su or like Tanui mentioned this in one of the episodes where she's like, "Oh yeah, she's my she's my assistant who tends to wander."
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
that's true.
You think Hunter would remember this?
Yeah, no, that's true. Also, something I thought was kind of funny was how like they showed Fennec Shand stealing like that that fruit or whatever. And then it kind of like makes it seem Omega think like, oh, there's something kind of off with this person because they're kind of like evil because they're stealing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought like that. Yeah, that's a good way to like make Omega be suspicious. But then the Bad Batch is also stealing in the same episode when they they sell the droids to the man and take the money and then plan on him escaping. They were stealing also, actually stealing even more money than she was stealing. So I just thought it was kind of funny how they like portray it as like, oh, this is how she's evil because she was stealing things. But it's like they were doing that too. Even worse. Yeah,
exactly. That's a good point. I didn't think about that. Yeah, they literally were stealing.
They literally stole it. I know. Oh man, it was kind of funny.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. For a second there, I thought, no, Echo paid him back when he left, but no, he just dropped all the inhibitor things in the guy's hand. That's true.
They literally stole 2,000 credits from him, and the other person took like a couple.
They didn't even tell the droids to go back to their master. They just said, "Up, you're done. See you later."
Yeah, I know. So I mean, if they didn't go back, that's even more property damage. They literally like like big time theft on him.
Yeah, literally. That's actually a really good point.
To like, and not just like the Empire or the Republic or clones or like a mercenary, but like a store merchant. Like this guy's literally just trying to make a living. They literally robbed
Capitalism,
an
baby.
innocent dude. Yeah. Oh boy,
It's just
this
interesting
guy.
because I think the reason why to explain that is because the Bad Batch is realizing that hey, they have to be self-sufficient and all that, so they have to like. Oftentimes, you have to bend the rules to survive, and they're showing about how what a still lawless galaxy looks like. Mm-hmm. Because if you notice, the Empire really hasn't like hit the galaxy with its iron fist yet. If you know what I'm talking about,
right? Yeah, I see. I know what you mean. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, something I just found out. Actually, I was looking up something. Is the name of the Bad Batch ship is actually called the Marauder, which is
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either, and that's actually a really nice name, the Marauder.
That's a nicer name than I expected. The Marauder. That is nice.
That is nice. Man, I really wonder. The Bad Batch are starting to do a few like operations where they get shot at by the clones and get noticed by local authorities. I mean, they're gonna start having people like on their case. I feel like Crosshair is gonna pick up on some of these, kind of like trail they're leaving behind, basically.
Yeah, exactly. They're not exactly being very subtle for people that look like all the other clones.
Exactly.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Eventually, the fact that they look like each other is gonna raise some eyebrows.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. So now that so overall, how would you rate the episode out of 5?
Ooh, out of 5,
I gave it about a 5 out of 5 because it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a good, fun little side little venture that happened. I thought it was a good episode. Like we already
it was fun.
We knew we weren't gonna get like big story development, but it was as like a side episode to show us what's happening with the Bad Batch and their development as a team. I think it was good. It did a little bit different than just the regular side episode where nothing important happened. At least it took it in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And introduced the concept of bounty hunters also to
now we have that
group. They made a point of like explaining, remember, to Omega and beginning at the end of the episode that bounty hunters are people that like try to like collect ransom on taking different people and stuff like that.
Hunt targets.
Hunt targets. So one, that's a good explanation for like viewers to see, to just new people that are watching the series, but also kind of reintroduce the concept. So, maybe that's also starting to set up the idea of maybe seeing more bounty hunters in the future, like Boba Fett, or, I feel like that's still like a good sign that we're getting a little bit more expansion to other characters in this universe, reoccurring. Like, I feel like she's going to come back again at some point.
Plus the fact, going back to talk about the explanation about what bounty hunters do, I find that in Star Wars, people seem to think that bounty hunters are just assassins.
Mm-hmm.
Because most of the time when you see bounty hunters, they're killing people.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, well, but it's like now they actually say no. They just go in and they track a target and they pick up a target and such.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
All right. So 5 out of 5, 3 out of 5. Okay. So now based on that, where do you think? So where do you think the series is going? I mean, I know again it probably hasn't changed that much because this episode didn't really change that much or like introduce a lot of stuff besides Shank.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like in terms of where we're going, I really feel like right now we're just have the characters on the run, and I don't know. I mean, do you think we're gonna get like a big like kind of more of a story plot reveal for the rest of the season, or is it gonna be more of like a little bit slow, like having the characters on the run, and maybe in the last 2 episodes of the season, there's gonna be like a big reveal about, I don't know, the Kaminoans, their plans, or the Empire and their conscription plans. maybe that'll be more towards the end of it, or I feel like the next episode could give us some really good sight into what's going on.
What I think that what's going to happen is they'll introduce, they'll start to like seed the whole idea about about the clone rebellion, because I still think that's what we're going to end this season with. And then in like the last 2 episodes will be part 1 establish setting it up, then part 2 will be it could be just part 1 and 2, the clone rebellion.
Right. That's a good point.
It would be the Empire. It would be like part 1, they have the Kaminoans openly rebelling against the Empire and saying, yeah, we're done with you guys. And then the Empire sending a battalion of stormtroopers there to like take care of loose ends.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely, I think that's definitely a plausible thing that could be happening, you know?
I wonder, really fun.
I mean, I know you're rooting for like the clone rebellion, or you know, how do you describe it? The clone uprising.
Yeah. It's also the Kaminoan rebellion. Yeah.
I mean, I think that could be really good in the end.
Yeah,
they decide to go that way.
Yeah, because first off, it's a really cool event if they were to do it, because it's basically like you have stormtroopers versus clone troopers. Who doesn't want to see that?
I know. I mean, we're already getting. I mean, like, you know, we have Crosshair's group, which are like, you know, the starting to be kind of imperialish. You know, they have like the black kind of death trooper look with the green visor and stuff. So we're starting to see that transition there. I don't know. I mean, it could be something we really see. I think, like I said, next episode is going to give us some more direction on where we're going. I think they already did a couple of, you know, side adventures that they're going to want to give us something like with bigger plot reveal in it.
So what do you think? What do you think? So who else do you think is going to cameo in this series besides Shan and Rex? Because he's the next. Well, we know that Rex is going to show up because he was in the trailer. At least once we know he's going to show up.
Right.
So who do you think that they haven't indicated is going to show up? I think Cody.
Cody could be really cool. It depends on like where our like I don't know, in this season if they're going to be just more like on the run, and then maybe something they plan on doing in the future, like in the second season, is where they're actually like going after these notable Clone Wars veterans and seeing what happened to them, or what are they doing, like Cody, like some of the other commanders, Commander Bly and stuff like that, what happened to them, where they go hunt them down specifically. I don't know if they're going to go around trying to save clones from being, you know, the programming. It depends on the direction they go. But
if they go with the Clone Rebellion, what they could do is have it so the Bad Batch goes to Kamino and shuts off the inhibitor chips. All the clones come back, and then they're wiped out by stormtroopers.
That could happen. I mean, that could really happen, and explain why, you know, basically almost everyone's wiped out at that point, right? I mean, only Vader has the 501st, right?
Yeah, maybe Gregor shows up.
Maybe. I mean, that's something.
I think what they could set up is in the last episode after the Clone Rebellion, it's just Rex, Gregor, and Wolf, and then it shows them leaving together.
Yeah, that could definitely be the case. I mean, I don't think, like, I know maybe some people think that Ahsoka may show up eventually. I mean, it's possible, but it's probably not going to happen for a little, at least for a while, because we already know from like canon, the Ahsoka novel, that she was hiding in like the Outer Rim for like, I think the Outer Rim for about a year after she escaped with Rex. She hid out for a year, and then she was actually contacted by Bail Organa and started running some operations for him as Fulcrum, starting like, you know, a year or two after episode 3. Because then we see her about, you know, 10 years, 15 years later in Rebels. She's kind of working on that sort of stuff. But I don't think we're gonna see Ahsoka. It'd be you know, they kind of finish her off in Clone Wars for now.
That's true. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and plus they just had her in Mando, so I don't think they want
Yeah,
to overload with Ahsoka. In terms
yeah,
of Jedi, in terms of characters, I think Vader shows up at least once, or at least he'll
right.
be in the background somewhere.
That's true. Hey, do you okay? I got a really important question. Do you think we're gonna see Imperial Inquisitors eventually, or is it too
Oh,
early to see that?
too early, I think.
Too early?
I think though, if they show up at all, it'll be in a season 2. If we get a season 2,
Right. I mean, maybe we're gonna see like maybe there'll be an episode where they come across an escaped Jedi and an Inquisitor hunts them down. Like maybe it's too early for a whole Inquisition, you know, the whole group. But maybe there's just one Inquisitor already, you know, like Vader and there's like one or two Inquisitors. You know, we saw
or
in Fallen Order had a ton.
yeah, but Fallen Order takes place like probably like about 10 or so years after Episode 3.
Right. I'm actually gonna look up now. I'm gonna look up what we know about the Inquisition.
For Inquisitors, though, what they could do is have the Bad Batch find a Jedi, like someone, and then start talking about how they're disappearing and we're being hunted by these Force users. Like basically hint that they somehow exist, but without showing them.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's a good point. I mean, it could it could happen.
Mm-hmm. It definitely could happen. It wouldn't surprise me if the Inquisitors showed up. Honestly, at this point with Star Wars, and nothing would surprise me. I learned my lesson from Luke Skywalker showing up at the end of Mando.
That was really crazy. I mean, honestly, with such a reveal like that, I mean,
that was absolutely bonkers, bro.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Man, so well, okay. I mean, okay, checking here, but it appears that the Inquisitors were actually hired to hunt down Order 66, and you know we know that, but I'm trying to see if there says something here, like when, like it says here. I think it actually started just about even within a year after the Inquisition, the takeover.
Really?
Right, because there was a scene here where well, let me double check this.
It would make sense that the Emperor would have this plan already in place to hunt down any Jedi that happened to escape.
Mm-hmm. Right, because there's something here where, you know, Jocasta Nu is kind of hunted down by a few of the...
She's hunted down by Vader and an Inquisitor.
Right. So I think it's... Okay, so it's in the comics, there is at least about a year after the rise of the Empire, the Inquisition is already like in full force on a mission to Mon Cala to find an escaped Jedi. So it was already before that when there was a few Inquisitors. So it could be like some Inquisitors already basically ready to go right away after Order 66. So we could see in a season 2 or 3, we could see the Inquisition.
Yeah, that's true. Which would be pretty cool. I would love to see that because they were one of my favorite parts of Star Wars. Because I'm like, yeah, there's no way Vader alone is gonna hunt down all the Jedi.
Yeah,
there's no way.
Right. So that's gonna be something I feel like that'd be kind of cool to see something like that, because Rebels never really gave us the full sight of the Inquisitors. Like it you know, brought us the concept of the Inquisitors, but we only ended like 4 years altogether, and it was a really cool concept that I wish we could see more of. And Fallen Order gave us a lot of the, you know, Inquisitorius, and the comics have as well. But if Bad Batch, you know, put an episode or 2 with that, I feel like that'd be something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see on that end.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
I really hope Hondo. I feel like Hondo could show up eventually. I mean, Hondo has to be in everything.
Hondo has to show up. Come on.
Yeah.
That's just a missed opportunity for Hondo to show
Yeah.
up. Come
Yeah,
on.
he's just doing something in, the selling, running his, totally legal businesses, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if we're gonna see characters like Omega and the Bad Batch. Are we gonna see them develop? Have more of a a big character development, because like in Clone Wars and in we the character development was a bit slower, at least I feel like in the beginning, and then more towards the end. A few episodes we saw people could be influenced by the events around them. It was really
Glad you're breaking up.
season 5, 6, and 7, where we see big character developments for Ahsoka, Anakin, and Obi-Wan. Towards the end of that, do you think in Bad Batch we're going to see more character development because they're not restricted by having to appear a certain way in the movie, or do you think it's going to be more a slower character development? More like just playing with playing off each other on how they are now, or do you think we're going to see these characters change drastically? Will there be like a drastic season finale where a character dies or a character is fundamentally changed? Like it started off with Crosshairs turning evil in the beginning of a series. So maybe we're going to see more drastic character development?
Yeah, but I think so. It really depends on how long they want the show to go. If it's a 1-season show, then yeah, and if it's a plan to be a 1-season show, most likely this is all the character development for the characters that we're going to get. But if it's a multi-season show, which I really hope it is, chances are we will be getting like lots of other character development later. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if in the Bad Batch they don't restrict the characters depicted to the Bad Batch. What I think is going to happen if they do more than one season, it'll be like in Clone Wars, where they start off with the movie that has like a couple of the characters, and then throughout the series they'll branch out and show what other characters are doing during the events of the show.
Right. I think that's a good point. That's something to, that be the, to look forward to. I think Bad Batch is pretty popular, especially among. I mean, Clone Wars final season really brought a lot of hype back to people. A lot of people. It's been about 2008. It's been about 7 years or so since we got the last season of Clone Wars on Netflix. So, it's kind of like a big revival, I think, for a lot of people when we got that Clone Wars final season. And people are like hype brought back into Star Wars through that. And they, this is basically, this is like getting another season of Clone Wars, but it's just giving us something a little different. And I think a lot of people are going to be really excited for this.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'd be really cool.
Mm.
Yeah, this conceivably could bring back everyone's hype on Star Wars, because it's been gone for like way too long.
Right. And I think it's okay, actually, that Star Wars does movies right now. Just give a little breather for like trying to push out the big blockbusters. I feel like it was like maybe a little too much, the shove down common people, shove down like casual viewers' throat. Just like too much Star Wars, or even among the more dedicated fans, like maybe just a little too much Star Wars content in terms of the movies, But now it's like movies are just kind of relaxed for a couple of years, and we can develop the characters through series, through the live action series. I think people are really excited about the direction Star Wars is going right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if we'll see, any more news about other animated series and stuff like that, because we have, it's Lucasfilm Animation, or all of Lucasfilm is now being let, the creative Dave Filoni is one of the creative directors at Lucasfilm.
Yes.
Which is really cool. He was promoted.
They did cancel Rangers of the New Republic.
Right. Rangers of the New Republic was canceled, I guess, probably because Gina whatever was
Gina Carano, yeah.
Yeah. Was Cara Dune was kind of fired. So I mean, we have a lot of upcoming products that seem really good for Star Wars in terms of TV shows, live action, and animated. I wonder if Dave Filoni, now he's has that creative position up there, creative director. I wonder if he's looking at some other projects that he can set up for Star Wars. Like, maybe there can be another animated show that isn't on Disney Plus. Just like another show for the brand new fans into Star Wars franchise. Something a little different but still exciting. Maybe set after episode 6, or maybe set during the original trilogy or something. Or
episode 9, after episode 9.
After episode 9. That could be like, you could do an animated show set after episode 9 where it's just be like Rey doing
it's
Jedi
a flashpoint of that where they make it so the sequel trilogy never happened.
Oh man.
That would be hilarious.
Oh boy. I don't think that's gonna happen, but they could capitalize off of like a series after.
They pull a George Lucas where it turns out Rey and Kylo were actually brother and sister.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, they could do something like that.
That'd be great.
Oh man,
you truly have learned from George Lucas, Mr. Filoni. If you make that,
excellent play.
And then at one point, Finn goes McClunky.
Yeah, that could be cool. I mean, I feel like a lot of younger fans or new fans were introduced through the sequels. I mean, regardless of whether or not people like them, they definitely hype back into Star Wars. Just like the idea of an episode 7. Episode 7 made Star Wars mainstream again. Like after Clone Wars had kind of started to trail off a little bit, and episode 7 just brought that hype back of like seeing Luke, Han, and Leia again after the original trilogy, and all the big box budget from Disney. Like maybe they weren't like necessarily the best, but at least they introduced some fun new characters. Like I really like Poe and Finn, and some interesting story details. Like some of the stuff with Palpatine was kind of cool, like Exegol and the whole idea of the Sith Eternal.
I like that. Cool. I just wish that they brought him back in a cooler way than just clone.
Yeah, somehow Palpatine.
Somehow, it's bad when you have to write in your script the word somehow.
Yeah,
that's when you got problems, bro.
Yeah.
And again, that YouTube video that you showed me, even Poe was like, "Do I really have to read this?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Somehow Palpatine came back to life."
Right, but I mean, it's kind of interesting because we see that the sequels are come and gone, and what is like Star Wars like now? We're getting a lot of content for the prequel era with Clone Wars final season, Bad Batch, and also a few live action series like Obi-Wan show, Cassian Andor. I mean, that's kind of like between prequel and original era. So we're getting a lot of classic content like that, and then we're also getting a few live action series set right after episode 6. So they're doing a lot of storytelling for prequel and original trilogy fans. But I wonder what their plan is for the sequel era. Like, are they gonna do like another show in that era? Like Resistance was. We know the Rogue Squadron movie, I believe, is gonna be set in the sequel era. That's like a new Rogue Squadron formed after like the original one in the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to be kind of interesting. Okay, so I got a question for you, Jared. We know that we have Rogue Squadron by Patty Jenkins coming up in 2023, I want to say, like 2 years from now. So
somewhere there.
It's a little ways away. I believe sequel era. So it could be like side of, it's about pilots banding together to fight like the original Rogue Squadron. So it's probably be, it could be a little bit separated from the sequel era, main characters, but it's somewhere in that era. So maybe it won't be, it's gonna be a standalone movie. We also know we're getting a movie by Taika Waititi. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And from Thor Ragnarok. And we're also getting a movie by Kevin Feige. He's gonna be doing a Star Wars movie. I believe
I thought he said he wasn't doing Star Wars.
Supposedly he's slated this. Yeah, check it out. He's slated to do one of the Star Wars movies upcoming.
Let me see. Oh, okay. There you go. Well, hang on. Marvel's Kevin Feige does this. Won't be involved in Star Wars. Well, it says here, Marvel's Kevin Feige won't be involved with Star Wars series despite his new movie. Okay, so he is doing a movie.
Mm-hmm. So he's doing a movie in the future at some point. I think there might be one more that I'm forgetting, like just like a movie by a certain person, but I'm not sure exactly. We know we're getting those movies up, and in the next couple of years, 3-4 years, what do you think Star Wars is going to do in terms of like a trilogy? Because they said a year or two ago that after the sequel trilogy, they were playing, they branded as the Skywalker saga, and they said, the next Star Wars movies we do is going to be like a new trilogy set like away from the Skywalker, set in a different era of, different time period, different part of space. So kind of like a Star Trek idea, I guess, where they kind of, where they do something like that. That's what they said a couple of years ago. But now I don't know. Maybe they won't go that way. Maybe they don't want to do that. I don't know. Maybe their plans have changed a little bit, seeing how people are really excited about the current Star Wars era with a lot of live action shows.
I think right now what they're going to do is I think they're going to leave the post episode 9 era. They're going to leave the sequel era alone, because barely anything, if anything, of the sequel era has been popular at this point.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a fact when not like some things. Let's face it, the very fact that there was absolutely no merchandise for episode 9 for any of the sequel movies, pretty much except for 7 because that was hype. But for 8 and 9, there's barely any new action figures.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what's going to happen is that it's going to be either two eras. And by the High Republic is a failure, so I don't think they're going to do that. It's going to be either the prequels or the Old Republic.
I think that's a good point. I think it is a good direction to do is Old Republic.
Oh, yes, because people love the Old Republic. Me too.
Old Republic would be real. I think it would make sense to do, like, if you're doing a next Star Wars trilogy, just go, you need to buy time. Like, you can't just go ahead and do sequels to the, episode 7, 8, and 9 yet. It's too early to do that. You need to buy time to let, fans, mature and accept it and stuff. But you doing something set in the Old Republic era would be really fantastic. We know in the canon there were like conflicts between the Jedi and the Sith, between the Jedi and the Mandalorians.
I would love to see a Mandalorian Wars series or something like that.
That would be really cool. I feel like something in the Old Republic era would be really interesting to explore.
What if they do like a Clone Wars style show, except it's Mandalorian Wars, and it's called Mando Wars, and they do the opening and everything just like Clone Wars in the same animation style? Wouldn't that be dope?
That would be really sick.
And then one of the main characters is Revan. Mm-hmm. They have Revan and Malak, and they keep building them toward being a Sith. And then, like, the last arc is the Knights of the Old Republic 1 game.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of some of the couple of main characters from the Knights of the Old Republic game could definitely make their way into canon as like the main characters for a movie, if they decide to do a movie trilogy in that older era. I feel like the Old Republic would be a really good era to explore, because they've already tested it and found that it was popular by doing the video games.
Yeah.
So if they want to do something new for Star Wars, but not completely get rid of Jedi and the Jedi Order and the lore that they've built so far, Old Republic's just a really smart move. You can't really damage anything else in the Star Wars franchise by doing the Old Republic. Like you don't have to worry about with the continuity too much. Like it gives you a little bit of that reset you're looking for, like a little bit of like a of a reboot, a soft reboot by just going a couple thousand years into the past.
And like you said, it buys you time until you figure out what you want to do next.
Right. Exactly.
Well, plus, you could decide that, we're just going to stay in the Old Republic era and just show what happened there.
Right.
But again, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But again, I feel like it's inevitable they're going to do something with Revan. Something. He's just too popular of a Star Wars character to just leave out there.
I mean, look, we saw Tarkin come back in Rebels because he was just so fantastic of a character from the expanded, from the books. It started in the books, and he was such a popular character that really, revitalized Star Wars. They brought him back into canon, and they've been developing him. Revan's another character that really had a big impact outside of the movies, in the video games. So I feel like it is also only a matter of time till they introduce his character. Maybe they're waiting for that new trilogy or something, like 5 years from now, they want to take a little break and do a new trilogy with Revan. That could be something they do. I think that'd be really fantastic.
Let me put it this way. If in the Bad Batch, now this would be mind-blowing if they do this in the Bad Batch, they find Mandalorians, and then right there is like a picture of Revan. That's all they have to do. That's all they have to do.
Like some sort of like, ancient, like kind of like ancent drawing.
It's like a painting or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just it shows him in the Mandalorian Wars, outstretched a lightsaber looking up at the mask on. Or they just have his mask there.
They could it could be in Bad Batch. They could also explore that idea in Mando season 3. Because we don't know what direction's going next, because we know Grogu's kind of safe right now. So right now, the only thing
if they go into the sequel trilogy, Grogu's kind of screwed.
Right. I mean, I think he still has some time. He'd be okay. But it'd be funny if like beginning of Mandalorian season 3, it's like Mando like in his ship all dramatic, and then he like parks, and it's just like Grogu with like a lunchbox getting on the ship. Like, well, how was your day at school?
How was your day at school? He climbs into the ship like a little kid.
Yeah.
That would be so good, man.
Well, in Mandalorian right now, the only thing that kind of like loose thread we have hanging is, why did Gideon want Grogu's blood? Like, what are they trying to do? Some sort of cloning, some sort of force sensitive device? They had something there. They're definitely, doing something big with Mando, because they also gave him the Darksaber. Like, that's big.
Yes.
He has the Darksaber by right of combat now. So he's, like, that's something I think I kind of forgot about a bit, is that he technically has like a stake at the leadership of Mandalorians.
He's become Mandalore, kind of.
Right. Yeah. Now, like, if he can band together people, he could become Mandalore. So are they going to look at exploring something like that? Maybe they could start doing some of the historians, because they've mentioned that a bit.
Yeah,
we could see a Revan. We could see a Revan reference. I could honestly see that in the next season.
What they do, here's what they do. They do what you're doing, but they show a flashback to like a battle in the Mandalorian Wars, and they just have Revan just standing there.
Right.
And it'd be like, oh my, it'd be on the, or if they show him actually in action, that would be on the level of Luke Skywalker showing up and destroying Dark Troopers.
Yeah. Hey, that'd be really cool.
Like, not only showing just that Revan exists, but seeing him with his dual lightsabers just whacking Mandos left and right.
Yeah. That'd be really good.
Yeah. And then they like say that like through narration that like he became a Sith, but then he was redeemed by the Jedi and all that. In other words, they hint that Knights of the Old Republic 2 is canon and it happened.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Like this way, if they mention the Star Forge, it's canon because that was the big like Death Star like device that they had to fight in Knights of the Old Republic 1.
Mm-hmm.
If they start mentioning anything that was like remotely related to Knights of the Republic, we're good. Well, technically, Revan is canon because in Episode 9, the Sith troopers, one of the legions was called the Revan Legion. Except I want to see him. I want to see him. Plus,
patience.
In no way was it indicated that there was a Revan Legion except in the book.
Right. They kind of just threw a bone out there just so you remember him.
But besides that, I thought in that scene where we have like a trophy, Kylo Ren's trophy room, we were going to see on like the wall in the background the Revan mask.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Something. Give me some, like on Exegol, there'd be like the Revan mask because it's like a Sith temple. Supposedly, I am the one complaint I have about Clone Wars is they cut out the episode where the son talks to Revan. I was like, no, this episode exists, and I saw the animatic for it, and I'm like, whose decision was this?
I guess, I remember that little scene that they decided not to put in the end.
Who would have, let me put it this way, who would not want to see that? Because it's Revan. It is Revan.
Yeah, exactly.
The Sith who is so powerful that when he died, he turned himself into a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what happened. He's not powerful.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
We'll have to see. I mean, so like if they were to give us eventually an Old Republic trilogy of movies, or maybe a series of movies, maybe not a trilogy anymore.
Could be.
And it's like set, with Revan and stuff and everything, would all be forgiven with Disney.
Yes. Yes. If they pay him respect, yes.
Yeah.
100% respect. If they pay him respect and don't like emasculate him or anything like that, totally fine.
Yeah.
Totally fine. If they make him a badass, yes.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
If we have him, Candrius Ordo, Bastila, if they have like all the characters and we follow them on their little adventures in the Ebon Hawk, yes.
Yeah.
You will buy my loyalty forever.
Like it'd be like Disney's Palpatine and you're Kylo Ren. It's like, what can you offer me? And then Disney's like, everything.
Yeah, because what they could do is they could show the crew's adventures after the game. Because there's a fair amount of time between Nights 1 and Nights 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only time that's ever been explored is like in a brief novel. That's it.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
but yes, if we see a live action Revan, most likely played by Keanu Reeves, the slate is clean, Disney. The slate is clean.
Yeah.
Even on the Marvel side, I will forgive Captain Marvel as well.
Really, it extends all the way out to all branches of Disney.
Yeah. Anything that's not involved, even stuff that's not associated with Star Wars, because let me this way, it had to be authorized by someone in Disney.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, let's see if Disney can. Hey, Disney, if you're listening, you can win back Jared's.
And here's the way they should announce it. Just have it where like it's a black screen, and all of a sudden you all of a sudden have two lightsabers, one purple, one red, that they turn on, but the only thing you see is it's still a black background. It's just the mask. It's like two lightsabers like this, and then, poof, and it's the mask. That's it. That's it. 12-second ad. That is it. And then all they say is the past returns.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, we're seeing. I mean, it's not impossible. I mean, we saw DC finally giving Injustice an animated movie based off of the games because of its popularity.
We're not sure if it's based on the games. It could be based on the comics, or it could be another story in that universe.
Right. Yeah. The idea of Injustice is finally getting some attention there. So, like, maybe Star Wars will do something similar where, seeing what worked really well in the games, that story, that setting, people want to see that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Maybe that's right. I'll pay whatever price they want.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all they have to do. Just the two lightsabers. Just the two lightsabers in the mask. 12-second ad. All they have to do is, and here's how I can title it. Here you go. Asking ye shall receive. Let me put it this way. As improbable as that may sound to some people, remember what last year we had no idea the Snyder Cut was coming out. We all know what happened with that.
That is true.
Lad and I talk about it pretty much every Under Two Capes episode. Somehow the Snyder Cut will be announced. It's become a drinking game.
Yeah.
So the Snyder Cut basically proved with Hollywood, never say never.
Never. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible.
But yeah, so Lad, so on that tangent, let me see. So do you think we're going to see a Clone Rebellion and Bad Batch, or do you think that could be another save for another season? And if so, how do you think this season will go?
Ooh, I feel like Clone Rebellion will be like a second season. I feel like, I mean, it's possible, but I feel like it might be a little too early for it to happen.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to see some more of the effects of Order 66 and it's on the galaxy, and seeing what individual clones are like Cody, like Rex, seeing Rex's perspective on things. We saw Cut LaQuane's perspective on things, like seeing how clones are affected by it. I think we need a little more time to develop that.
That'd be a good point.
I feel like season 1 could really be about, I feel like Crosshairs could be a big confrontation at the end of season 1, and then they actually managed to free him from the inhibitor chip protocol using whatever takes and maybe Omega's powers or something. And
if she has powers,
right? If she has powers, they save Crosshairs. It's like a big battle. Like maybe someone almost dies, like Hunter, but they save Crosshairs and free him from that. And that'd be like kind of like the big season finale. And, then they say, hey, we saved Crosshairs. Maybe we can do this for other clones. They leave it. So they set up the second season where the mission is to start a clone rebellion. Maybe not, and you don't have to go to individual people anymore, but you can go to like the source like Camino, or, find notable people like Cody or like Rex or Gregor. And then, eventually do like a big clone rebellion where you like a big wave of, inhibitor chip cancellation.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I like that idea more, because here's the thing. You're right. The Clone Rebellion hasn't been set up that much in this series, if that's the plan.
Right.
It seems like more. Yeah, 100%. You're right that it could. Let me put it this way. As far as we know, the Rex thing could be a season 2 thing.
Right. Yeah, it could be they decide to squeeze it in there because they can kind of like trick us. Yeah,
get people hyped up because they know Rex is a hot. That's another series I think they should do, like a Rex live action movie.
Huh. Yeah,
501st, just a 501st movie. Everyone's played by Tamara Morrison.
Yeah, would they just do everyone? Would that work for live action, having multiple Tamara Morrisons?
Probably.
Oh man, it'd be like what's it called? With Lindsay Lohan, I forget what it is now. Parent Trap, but with Tamara Morrison.
Or it's like it's basically Morbid, where Eddie Murphy plays everyone.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
What's hilarious is that I'll tell you the story. When I first saw episode 3 and I saw Commander Cody without his mask on, his helmet on, I forgot that they were clones of Jango Fett. So I see like 80 Jango Fetts behind Obi-Wan, and I'm like, I thought you got your head chopped off.
Yeah.
Why are there 80 of you?
That's a good point.
I was like, wait, what?
That's funny, actually.
All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I think that's a good place to leave it, unless you have anything else you want to say, Lad. Anything?
No, I think that's a good place to wrap things up.
All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, Knights of Mandalore. I hope I didn't say welcome to Under Two Capes when we started this, but yeah. If I didn't, I'll put up anyway because it's hilarious. But I hope you guys enjoyed Knights of Mandalore. By the way, we are definitely gonna do the Halo show, and then at one point we'll do Lad's Bionicle show whenever he gets that set up. The Halo show is going to be called the Orbital Drop Shock Podcast. And that should be the first episode should be going up tomorrow. So we'll see what happens with that.
Ooh, nice. That's gonna be exciting.
And remember, like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel, Comics League Network, and subscribe wherever you guys get your podcast, Under Two Capes. This show specifically, every show except Under Two Capes is a YouTube exclusive. So it's only going to be on the YouTube channel. So just like, comment, subscribe. And again, if you get guys like Comic Book Podcasts, Under Two Capes on any podcasting network and YouTube. All right, lad, always a pleasure.
Yep, and then, had a fun time.
Remember, hand shot first.